Let's get ready to rumble!
The gloves are coming off.
You believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable!
We're about to go full court press.
Oh, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan!
It's time to play ball.
Malone looking for his first hit of the year. He drives one! Deep left field! That goes Upton! Back near the wall! It's out of here! Bartolo has done it! The impossible has happened!
Listen in as we tackle everything in the world of sports right now.
Stay off the weed!
Throw your hat in the ring at 516-572-7440. This is WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Here we go, 4:02 p.m. It is Monday, May 16th, and oh boy, what a weekend it was in the sports world. I'd classify it as an epic weekend in the sports world, but we are ready here on WHPC Sports Talk to get to absolutely everything. I'm Michael Merlo. I'm joined by Anthony Deus, Ross Levine, Matt Leonard, and Ben Oppenheimer. How are we doing?
You sound disappointed when you name the last name.
How are we doing today,
I'm
guys?
up to your tricks. We're up to your tricks. That's how we're doing.
Mike, it's very weird because I'm excited yet horrified to see what's to come.
no.
Just like his role model, Captain Salazar.
Well, hold on one
No,
second.
don't even let him start. Don't even let him start.
Hold on. Shut up. Anthony had himself and Ross both had fantastic weekends. The Mets. I'm reading a tweet about the Mets. The Yankees go to Chicago. They take 3 out of 4. Look absolutely fantastic. The Rangers come back from a 3-1 deficit.
No.
And beat the Penguins Game 7 overtime. We're going to talk about it. We're going to start with the Rangers. Artemi Panarin, the goal in overtime to beat the Penguins 4-3. I have a couple stats that I'm going to read in a couple minutes. But the Rangers were outplayed last night, and they find a way to win because their goalie stood on his head late in that game. Guys, take the floor.
I didn't think it was going to happen because this is 4 straight first-round exits for the Pittsburgh Penguins, which is pretty embarrassing. And considering the fact that Mika Zibanejad, before Game 6, Artemi Panarin, they didn't have great games at all, and Panarin didn't have a great game at all. I mean, he didn't
have a good series.
He didn't have a good series. He scored the game-winning goal. I mean, that's what you want. But the way Zibanejad stepped up, even Keandre Miller, who had a bad series as well, getting that delayed penalty on him, setting up the power play in overtime, and even scoring that bouncing goal that went in.
Yeah.
And I think one of the fatal mistakes for the Pittsburgh Penguins in the series was starting Tristan Jarry. I know Domingue wasn't great in the last game, but Jarry on his glove side, you always take advantage of that.
How do you go to a guy that is coming off of an injury and he's cold into Game 7 at Madison Square Garden?
That's what a lot of people were saying on Twitter after the Penguins lost, was that how can you go to a guy that hasn't played a month in Game 7 in a winner go home situation? I mean, look, Domingue, you can definitely tell when the Rangers were starting to get some shots on him, he wasn't looking as great as he was in the beginning. But look, Jarry, there's definitely a book on Jarry. I mean, it's glove side. The Islanders figured that out last year. The Rangers certainly got the book on him as well. Look, I did not think they were going to come back. I really did. I thought after losing Game 1, it was over. I thought it was done. I really did. I thought it was finished. We were down 3-1. We got absolutely destroyed in Game 4. I thought it was over. I thought it was done.
Would you say they won 5 games and only lost 2 in this series?
Oh, yeah, they would have won. This series should have been far over.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I don't know if it's just a playoff atmosphere that I haven't seen since 2017, and it hasn't been like 2014 since then. But last night reminded me of that cup run. Something about the way that overtime goal was scored and the atmosphere there. And I know that's very general, but it just reminded me, especially beating Crosby, who had he was really an asinine child, because that's what he is. He's a guy who had the whole league cater around for him for all his career because he was the precious child that's going to save the Pittsburgh Penguins, even though they rigged the lottery to get him and Malkin. And then he says, let me preface this by saying, on the goal that tied the game, Pettersson's helmet, he's a player on the Penguins. Your helmet got ripped off. And when your helmet gets ripped off, you have to go to the bench and get a new helmet, right?
Oh, yes.
And Crosby, after the game, complained about that. Now, this is coming from a guy whose rules have been, for the league, has changed the concussion rules because of him, because he got injured multiple times and was concussed for a good portion of his career. So I don't want to hear anything from him about, the helmet rule, yada, yada, yada. In football, what happens when someone's helmet gets ripped off?
Blow the whistle.
Yep. Hockey, you go to the bench. It's preventing injury.
But hold on a second. I was listening to the radio on my way in here, and I heard somebody explain it as he could put his helmet back on and continue to go.
Yeah, but
that's what the rule book says.
But and also the other thing too is when your helmet is off, you can't touch the puck. You can't even touch it. Once you touch it, it's a penalty. It's delay the game, whatever.
But what if he put his helmet back on?
He probably felt like he couldn't do that, and then have a stick and then be able to do something with it. That's the only thing I could see from it. And again, the reason why he's complaining is because the other guys didn't do their job. They turn it over and they led to a goal.
Right. Another thing going off of that. You had a terrible Rangers defense. Adam Fox, as great as he'd been in the regular season, he had a horrible. The defense outside of Ryan Lindgren and Keandre Miller at times was pitiful. Jacob Trouba would be my guy. That is one of the most bad defenders on this team. The high sticks, the dumb penalties. Sure, you took out Crosby in Game 5. Good for you, but he was absolutely terrible. Adam Fox, who was last year's Norris Trophy winner, horrible series. You could have exploited that. You had over 3 periods to exploit the Rangers' defense, and I know Igor stood on his head, but at the same time, you guys blew a 3-1 lead. You had 2 games to close this out.
Really 3. I mean, if you think they had the lead. I mean, they had the lead twice. They had the lead in the third period. They could have held it. They didn't hold it. I mean, I don't know what Crosby complained about. As you said, 3-1 lead. You had a chance to close out in your building. But not to mention you had 2-0 leads in your building, and you blew it.
What about the calls that went for the Penguins that were ridiculous, like that high stick? Of course, the Hedl goal in Game 1. Also, Philip Hedl on my bad list as well. That was a terrible pass. That led to tie the game.
Man.
What did you think of that goal that they said was or wasn't above the crossbar of the guy's foot?
It looked like a high stick. It depends on the angle, but it was clearly a high stick.
The Rangers never get calls.
No.
They just don't. We never get calls.
So you believe that goal should have been taken off the board?
Yes.
I think it should. It looked like a high stick. I get the rule. The puck has to hit the downside of the puck, then that means it's not a high stick. I'm sorry, your stick's high here. It should be a high stick.
And you know what? Another thing, it really doesn't matter because we won the series. And
it almost cost us. It almost did.
That's true. But I hate to go, matter of fact. We won the series.
Yeah.
But there's some serious flaws. I know they're going to get spanked in the next round. The Rangers are going to.
Yeah. You think they're going to lose to Carolina?
I have a bad feeling.
They might win 1 or 2 games.
Really?
They're really going to get destroyed.
You have no confidence?
No.
Defensively?
What have you rather played Boston? Boston.
Are you sure?
Game 7.
I'd rather play Boston than Carolina. Not even a question.
Oh, you mean Boston? I thought you meant Boston or Pittsburgh. Because I'd rather play Pittsburgh than Boston in the first round.
I'm talking second round, though.
Second round, Boston. Definitely.
You would have rather played Boston than Carolina?
Absolutely.
You fear Carolina?
I fear Carolina.
Even though, according to a podcast I listened to over the weekend, they have not one superstar. They don't have one superstar on their team.
They don't have superstars.
But they have really good players.
Good talent. They have depth. Mm-hmm. They have consistency, something the Rangers don't have on their bottom lines and in their bottom pairing defenses.
They're a better defensive team than we are.
Great that Tyler Mott came back. Because that really helped.
Wednesday is Game 1 at PNC Arena in Carolina.
So you go from PPG Paints Arena to PNC Arena.
What do you have against PNC?
I don't know. That's the name of the ballpark in Pittsburgh.
It's a great ballpark.
Beautiful ballpark. I'd love to go there.
I want to visit that this summer. Very quickly, the Rangers were outshot 45-30.
Another problem.
So, again, just credit to their goalie. The Penguins won more faceoffs. They had 2 power play goals and 5 opportunities. The Rangers were only 1 for 4, but that one came at the perfect time. Just outplayed. And there were a couple games you'd say that they won and they were outplayed in as well, but they found a way to win the game, and that's all that mattered.
And it must be
Carolina.
Extremely embarrassing as a Penguins fan because this series would have been over. And this is twice you've blown leads to the Rangers in the playoffs. Absolutely horrendous. To a team you outplayed and outclassed, and I really think it's time for them to rebuild. Because if this wasn't the run, Nothing is. I said it last year.
They might rebuild with Letang being gone.
That's fine. Just rebuild, overhaul, whatever you got to do.
516-572-7440. You want to talk about the Rangers? You want to talk about the Mets, the Yankees, whatever you want to talk about, you can call in 516-572-7440. Did you think they were going to win the series at all?
No,
not at all.
At the beginning of the series, I thought they were going to win.
Down 3-1, you were no way.
No.
They're dead in Game 5.
I mean,
when they scored that goal, I was in disbelief. Sure, I was screaming like a little kid, running up and down like a maniac. But
Deus Salazar.
But I can't believe it, Ross. I don't know how this happened.
I was literally screaming at the TV the entire time. It wasn't like even.
It wasn't even enjoying. Was it an enjoyment to watch that game or no? Enjoying.
My heart was in my stomach. It just felt like what's happened. Like, do we want to win this game or no? Like we even in overtime when we had the power play and our power play was garbage throughout the whole series. I'm like what got us here? Like, are we gonna do something here or not?
We got a caller on the line. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, Mike, it's Zach from Hewlett.
What's up, Zach?
Hey, I'm sorry, Anthony, but I really think that the Hurricanes are going to run away with it. I truly think that they're going to represent the Eastern Conference.
I agree. I'm in lockstep with you, Zach.
You think they could beat Tampa?
I think Carol. There are some glaring flaws, especially that Boston series went to 7 games. That's a little bit of a problem for me. But I think the bigger problem, I don't see the other two teams winning. Other 3 teams going to the Eastern Conference Final. Panthers played horribly down the competition.
I really don't. I think hopefully, I would love to see a Hurricanes Avalanche Stanley Cup. That would be great. But I don't know. But the Hurricanes, I think they have their head on their shoulders. I love their coach, Rod Brindamore. He's great, very underrated. So yeah, I'm on the Hurricanes bandwagon. I've always liked the Hurricanes because of just their history, especially with the Hartford Whalers and stuff like that. They've always been kind of an interesting team to me, so I would love to see them go far.
So you're not rooting for the Rangers?
No, I wasn't really. For a while I was a Montreal Canadiens fan last year when the Cup happened because I was a huge fan of Jacques Plante, the goalie from the 50s.
What is that connection? What is that connection?
From the 50s to 2021 when they're in the
Jacques Plante, I couldn't pick him out of like a police lineup.
Well, I don't know. I know that's a random player to pick, but that's really the main reason as to why I was a fan of them. But I'm not really a fan of any of the teams. Not really. I just like looking at them. I'm obviously going to root for any New York team that goes far. I think it's time for a New York team to go all the way. But I just see the Hurricanes going all the way. I really, truly think so.
Thank you for the call, Zach. We appreciate it. What's he talking about? New York, what do they call it? FC?
MICFC, yeah.
Yeah, they just won.
You don't know your soccer teams, Mike?
They just won the championship in New York, so that's
you just found that out?
Can I mention one last thing about hockey? And I know the Islanders hired a head coach that was underneath
Lambert,
right? That was right underneath Barry Trotz. So I don't know. I don't like it because it might be a good hire, and I don't want. Were we over exaggerating that fire?
I mean,
he was a little overblown. The reaction.
There had to be something going on behind the scenes. Had to be. It happened in Washington too. He won the cup. They let him go.
The voice, his message kind of ran out.
I think that's what it was, and I think as well. Look, he probably looked at it because their GM has 1 year left. Trotz had 1 year left. They probably looked at it like, hey, we're not staying here down the road for the future.
Lane Lambert could be here for the future.
Yeah, he could be, or he could be a stopgap for the next GM that hires his own coach. It's very possible. This could have been a stopgap to be all begin with. I don't think it's going to change much with the team. I don't think the team's going to be all that great if they keep what they have.
No.
You had one last point on
the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yes, I have that right
with
here.
With another historic collapse where they could have. It wasn't 3-1. It was 3-2, and you still lost. And let me tell you something.
Game 7 in your own building.
In your own building to a team that you should beat, even though they were the 2-time Stanley Cup winners the last 2 years. You should have beaten them. But good for Toronto because it's just more hilarious laughs for every hockey fan. Because every year, every Leafs fan in Sportsnet goes, the Leafs are going to win the Cup. Yada, yada, yada. And what they do every year, they choke it away in the first round.
Can I have 2 questions for you. Number 1, Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid, and Igor Shesterkin all up for the Hart Trophy. That's the MVP. Do you think Igor has any chance of that?
No, they're not because of I hate to sound like that type
New
of
York
fan,
bias.
but it's Toronto bias. That's what it is. I mean,
It's hockey,
if they could give it to McDavid one more time, they would. But it's the Toronto Maple Leaf savior.
So it'll be
Matthews.
All right, and the second thing I got for you is: would you rather have your team lose the way Toronto does in the playoffs every year, where your heart is just ripped out of your body, or would you rather be a perennial loser?
Oh, that's tough. I'd rather be the loser.
Perennial loser.
As a Mets fan, I would take the Maple Leafs thing.
I think I would too. It all depends on where you come from.
Yeah.
It depends. If it's like an awful call, then maybe maybe the Leafs. But
Yeah.
I don't know. And I guess it depends on the sport. I mean, if you're really thinking, like, I guess in football, I'd rather be the loser.
That's tough, man. That is brutal. Good for Toronto and Edmonton.
Good for
Edmonton.
Way to win.
advances.
They're going to lose to Calgary, and that's going to be great.
Really?
I think so.
I hope Connor McDavid wins. I hope the Oilers. I like Connor McDavid. I want to see the stars, the greatest players, win.
Well, they don't have a goaltender. They don't have defense.
By the way, the Flames, I know they won 3-2 and it was close. They dominated that game. The Stars were horrible in that game. They were really bad in that game. And the Stars, that's another team. That's another, like, you know how you say about Pittsburgh, they should rebuild the Stars. That team is garbage. They have a lot of overpaid players on that team.
That is true, but I don't have the hate.
No, I know,
Pittsburgh.
but like they're so old.
No, but I agree because they need to start selling off pieces. So does Pittsburgh, and I don't know about you, Ross, but for me it was always Philadelphia over Pittsburgh, who I hate more. It's flipped. I hate
Nice.
Pittsburgh more than Philadelphia.
Wow.
Yeah, I honestly was going to say though Toronto. Tavares, you think that was going to help? Nope, it did not. You never even went around with it. Didn't help anything.
516-572-7440 is the number to join. Look at that, almost 16 minutes.
Thank
of
you.
hockey
You know,
talk.
Mike, I'm so thankful. Thank you so
You
much.
like that? Well, listen, the Rangers, they're a big story here, but we got to move on to the next biggest story in town. We are going to move on to the New York Yankees. You are listening to WHPC Sports Talk here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Michael Merlo. I'm with Anthony Deus, Ross Levine, Matt Leonard, and Ben Oppenheimer. All right, the New York Yankees go into Chicago and take 3 out of 4. A very impressive weekend. And it was capped off by a guy that just... It's
automatic.
It's really hard not to like this guy. Ben, who am I talking about?
Well, I didn't watch the game. I know the Yankees. I don't follow the
Strike
Yankees.
one. Just get the inside corner.
I don't follow the Yankees, but
He's the number 5 guy on the Yankees.
I don't follow
Number
the
5
Yankees
starter.
numbers. Number 5, so I don't follow their batting
All
order.
right, well, anyway, okay.
He said number 5 on their batting order. He said,
Starting pitcher.
Hold on. But you know what I will say on the Yankees, which I was saying last week, is
They're overrated.
No, excuse me, I'm not going to be censored, Mr. Censorship.
Then don't dig yourself
Please,
a hole.
just get your point out.
I'm getting my point. The Yankees are not the best team in the MLB. They are the most overrated team in the MLB.
Tell Mike the stat why you think that. Tell Mike the exact stat.
Hold on. I have the stats, which you guys hate.
Tell him
because
tell him the stat you used on Friday.
And it's an accurate stat. So the Mets, so just for context, the Mets are in the NL East, obviously.
Yes.
And they have a run differential as a team right now of plus 35, followed by the Phillies, plus 18. Atlanta is negative 14. Miami's plus 10. Washington's minus 36. But they have 3 teams in the NL East with a positive run differential. The Yankees have a plus 69 run differential, which is pretty great, but they are in a division where they have every single other team is in the negative for the run differential.
Okay, Ben, hold on one second.
So the quality of the teams that they're playing is it's not quite up to par.
You know why? Because the 3 teams that they've played in the division, they've knocked their run differential down. Because that's how great they're playing. They're the best team in baseball right now.
It's not because they're so great. It's because
my turn.
Here, do you want the talking pen? Do you want the talking pen?
The Yankees. What do I throw it at him?
No, you hold it. You've never done this.
The stick, yeah.
the Yankees have been pitching at a very insane level. You can't even tell me who pitched yesterday, who was absolutely phenomenal, and is probably the AL Cy Young Award winner this year. You can't even tell me his name. Okay, that's number one. Wow. Number two, they are hitting at an extreme rate. If Mike Trout wasn't putting up historic numbers, they have the MVP of the American League through a month and a half of the season. The Yankees are just right now a complete baseball team. Can they sustain it? Can the offense sustain this success? I don't know.
But the reason they're doing so well is because they're playing teams like Tampa Bay, Toronto.
They haven't played Tampa once.
They have not played Tampa yet.
I know that. That was a mistake because I was reading it off. But they're playing these teams that have negative run differentials. I never see anyone talk about the run differentials.
Ben,
why don't they want to talk about the run differentials, Mike? Can you answer me that? Can you answer me that?
Because number one, the New York Yankees can go out tomorrow and lose a game 15-1, and then the next day win the game 7-3, and then the next day win the game 5-4, and they took 2 out of 3 from the series. But just because one day the starter didn't have it and the Yankees offense didn't have it, and their run differential, they ended up having a negative run differential in that series, that doesn't mean anything. They had a bad day. So yes, at the end of the day,
means nothing, Mike.
It doesn't mean nothing, but it's not that important to me.
And if you look at their run differential, they're plus 69, right? That's incredible at this point in the season.
And the Mets are plus 35.
You know what I want to look at, Ben? That's half. You look at how are you doing against teams in your division. You can look at how you're doing against teams better than 500.
And the Mets
That's
are doing
how
good.
You value your team.
The Mets, their counterpart is
and
doing
I'm
good.
not saying the Mets aren't doing good. The Mets are having a fine season now. We're going to get into them in a minute. I think they finally hit a bump in the road. But you're talking about a Yankees team that their bullpen's been easily the best in baseball.
Yeah.
Their starting rotation may be the best in baseball right now.
Well,
and their offense the past few weeks has been unbelievable. But they're 20-4 since they lost their only season, their only series a month ago. They're the best team in baseball right now.
The last time the Mets, before they lost to the Mariners in the series, they lost series to the Mariners. Before they lost series to the Mariners, they
hadn't lost a series all year.
No, don't finish my sentence, Mike. The last time they lost a series was a month ago.
They didn't lose a series a month ago. They haven't lost a series all year before yesterday. They split one with Atlanta. They haven't lost a series all year. Ross.
That's why I meant when they say split.
That bullpen, the Mets, I'm sorry, it's a
had a bad day.
It's been bad all year.
It has not been bad all year. They had a bad day yesterday.
I'm sorry.
We're talking about the Mets in a minute. We're talking about the Yankees right now. Can't trust Edwin Diaz. Did you even say Edwin Diaz?
No, Diaz has been great. Everybody else stinks.
Okay, now we're continuing on the Yankees here.
Mike, I've noticed this about Ben. He grasps onto one stat that he can
literally nothing. No, especially at this point in the season.
Right, and he can construct some weird narrative about because listen, sure the Yankees have been playing weak opponents, but they've smacked around the team that should have won the division this year, or is supposed to win the division this year.
Favorite. Also, Ben, let me ask you a question. The Tampa Bay Rays, who I think we all believed was going to the playoffs this season and have a good team this year and are playing particularly well right now. What's their run differential right now? Doesn't mean anything. It's -1. I know what it is. It's -1. It doesn't mean anything.
No, hold on. Let me check, Mike. It is -1.
I know it's -1. I just looked at it. It doesn't mean anything. The Rays are a good team. They're probably going to make the playoffs. They have a -1 run differential on May 16th. Nobody cares what anybody's run differential is.
They're also playing in the bad.
Okay, so
are you sure you got allowed to do that?
Hold on. They're also playing.
I got yelled at for
They're also playing in a weak division. I'm not saying Tampa Bay is.
No. This is where the problem lies.
What do you mean? You're the psychoanalyst.
How is it a weak division? Ben, how is it a weak division? Can you explain that?
Do you know what a weak division is?
The NL East. The NL East, to be honest.
I'm looking at the records. I look at the numbers, which you don't like. I look at Baltimore with 14-21.
They're bad. That's good. There you go.
Boston even worse.
They're bad too.
Toronto is barely over 500.
Define barely. Tell me how many games.
One game over 500.
Okay.
That doesn't seem like a very strong division, Mike. I don't know if you can read the wins and losses like I can, but what I'm looking at is a very weak division besides the Yankees and the half-decent Rays.
The Rays are a solid second-place team that's going to make the playoffs with a wild card spot.
No, I don't think so.
The Toronto Blue Jays are a team that I believe was going and winning the World Series or had a chance to win the World Series. They've dealt with injury. They haven't gotten on track yet. I believe they are a team that is going to pick it up. They're an impressive bunch. And the way the Yankees have handled that team all season long with the murderer's row they got of Teoscar Hernandez and Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette, it is impressive what they have been able to do against that team. I think they're 6-3 against the Toronto Blue Jays. That's impressive. Now I'll say this. The challenge will be when they play the Rays. They haven't played the Rays yet, and they notoriously struggle against them. We have a caller on the line. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Sean Novad, and I'm calling from the boss's office. How's everybody doing?
What's up, Sean? Am I in trouble?
No, you're not in trouble at all, although...
Wait, hold on, Sean. Hold on. Sean, very quickly, if I have another caller on the air, how do I put on the line? How do I put him on hold?
hit my button and lock me again, and then you can pick up the other line. Don't
hit one.
Don't hang up on your boss. That would be very bad.
Hit 1, then press 2, then press hold.
Sean, you see the agenda that's being pushed.
There you go.
All right, got it.
Actually, my comment is actually for Ben.
Uh-oh.
Okay? I want to know, we're going to do a little math test here, okay? Because I want to, he's talking about weak divisions and strong divisions.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
I love the stats, unlike the other.
Okay,
guy.
can you let the man speak?
I love stats too. We're going to Math 101. This is Nassau Community College, after all. If you hear a lot of noise, it's pouring rain outside right now. Just so you guys know.
Really?
Thanks,
yes,
Mike.
and there's a beautiful rainbow. It's really nice. So listen, here's the deal. When there are 30 teams playing, how many games are actually being played, Ben?
How do you mean? What do you mean by that?
When all 30 teams are playing, how many games are happening?
Mm-hmm. Oh, come
That's a
on.
trick question.
Oh, come on.
No, it's not.
Oh, come on, Ben. No. Ben, can I answer, or do you want me to give him a little more time?
Hold on, Deus Salazar. 15.
Oh my God, he got it.
That's right.
All right,
That's
so
right.
Listen.
That's right.
All right, so listen to me. There are 15 games, right?
That's right.
How many winners and how many losers will there be with 15 games?
8 winners and 7 losers, or 8.
No!
7 winners.
I'm done.
No.
I'm done.
Sean, Anthony has walked out of the building.
Wait, hold on. This is a trick question. It doesn't have to be
Not a trick
question.
No, you're not going to take control of the narrative like you always do, Mike.
He's hosting the show!
Ben, I am now taking control of this narrative. There are 15 games playing. How many winners will there be?
It depends on the winners.
No, it doesn't!
It does.
not!
It does.
Ben, what is 15 plus 15?
The amount of winners changes.
No,
Sean.
it doesn't!
No! Ben, there are 15 games, therefore there are 15 winners.
No.
Yes!
No, there's losers and there's winners. There's not all winners.
Sean, who hired this guy?
Sean, Sean, I want to ask you a question.
Stop!
No. How would there be 15 winners on 50? There'd be all winning games?
Oh, Ben.
They would all win? Is that what you're saying?
There's 2 teams per game. You gotta see his face, Sean.
Okay. He's been stumped. He has been stumped.
Ben, maybe if you took off the sunglasses, you'd start thinking better.
Hold on.
Who are you pointing to? Who are you pointing to?
Mike, stay out of this.
We've lost Ross. He's crying on the desk.
There'd be 15 winners, but there'd also be 15 losers.
Good job.
Thank you. Now, here's my point. My point is there any division in baseball right now where there are more than 4 teams, or 4 teams or more, that are 500 or above? Is there a single, in any of the
Yes.
Hold on. I'm going to check that. I'm going to check that myself. Hold on. The NL West has... It has.
What does the NL West have?
Has all teams above 500,
No,
Sean.
it has 4 teams over and 1 team at.
No, at or above, Mr.
Yeah, say
Mr.
that.
Wise Guy.
Yes. The Colorado Rockies
Okay.
are not over 500. They are 500.
Okay. So in some kind of miracle, there's one division where everybody's playing relatively well.
Yes.
Right? So would you now say the other 5 teams are low division, or whatever word you were using to describe them?
Weak division.
You're saying Wait, the other what teams are a weak division?
The other 5 divisions.
The other divisions. Well, yes, I would say they're weak because the NL West would then be strong if they kept up with every team at or above 500. I mean, I think that'd be common sense.
Ben,
I'm gonna leave this on this point. The NL East is the only division where it has only one team, I believe, above 500 right now. Maybe the Phillies are at 500. I don't know exactly.
They're not.
Yeah, 17,
they're
18.
below, right?
Yep, 17, 18.
Right. Okay, so now the NL East is probably, and again, I'm not looking at the numbers. I'm driving through a torrential rain. I'm guessing the NL East would be the only division I would classify as a weak division. I'd say the other 4 are average.
the NL Central is a weak division, but you are 100% correct, Sean. The AL East is probably the second best division right now.
No. It's not. That's a matter
Ben, what do you want?
Ben, yes, it is. Ben, there is no other way of looking at it other than the AL East is the second best division right now.
No.
The NL West is crazy, and it is number one.
No.
And it'll probably stay number one.
The AL West and the NL West are both better
AL
than the
West.
AL West is better.
Ben, if the AL West was that good, how come there are 2,000 fans showing up to each A's game? Does that qualify as good baseball?
You don't want to talk about the
Does that qualify as good baseball?
Sean's on the phone.
You talk about their fans because you don't want to face the facts. You don't. He's laughing because it's true.
Sean, can I shut?
He's laughing because
can I
it's
shut
true.
his mic off?
These
Are the
are
caller
liars.
still there?
These are liars. AL West
All right.
has
Well,
Houston.
I think I've made,
Well,
Ben,
hold on. Yes.
Ben, I want Ben repeat after me. I'm not right about this.
No, I'm making the point.
No, you're not right, Ben. There's no way you are right.
All I'm saying is the AL West.
You can't tell.
The AL West and the NL West are better than the AL East.
Let him talk.
All I'm saying is Ben didn't understand how many games are played when all 30 games are playing. So I don't trust Ben's opinion on what is a strong division and what is a weak division.
Because you gave it to me. Because you gave it to me in the form of a weirdo SAT question.
A weirdo SAT question?
He said there are 15 baseball games. How many teams lose? How is that a weird question?
SAT question.
Here,
It's like a first grader.
Here's another math question for you, Ben.
Thank you, Sean.
Ben, let me ask you a quick math question here. How many football players are on a field at once for one team? Because you had trouble with this the last time I asked you.
No.
The 12th man. There's 12.
There's
11.
And he said he didn't get that wrong.
The 12th man.
That's the crowd. They call the crowd the 12th man.
In some spots,
Yes,
there's 11
yes.
guys on the field. There we go.
So if he can't be trusted to ask that question, how could he be trusted to make any other statement?
That one got the outside
Because you guys know I'm not expertise in football.
Well, where are your expertise?
Mets and the Knicks.
Okay.
Well, clearly your expertise are not in baseball
It
because
isn't because Mike.
it was
Mike,
just proven
Mike,
that it was not.
Mike, you don't want to face what I just told you. The AL West
Has two
the
teams
AL West is, yes,
over
and the NL
500.
West, and the NL West, Mike, and they're both better than the AL East.
Okay.
The NL West
Okay,
and
Ben.
the AL West are both better than the AL East. I can repeat it as long as you want.
know, Ross.
And because you're one of the liars who doesn't want to accept the truth, I'm telling you the cold hard stats, Mike.
He's laughing as he says this.
Just admit they're good. That's it. The Yankees are good.
They
Doesn't matter
are
what
good.
division
I'm
they're
not saying.
in.
I never said they weren't good.
They're good. No more. You said they're good. Now for the Metropolitans. Now for the Metropolitans.
We're on to the Mets. 1 second on
Ben's
Nestor
expertise.
1 second on Nestor Cortez. Nestor Cortez, the 36th round pick in 2013 by the Yankees. He was then Rule 5 draft pick by the Orioles. Then he was with, I think, Seattle for a little bit, up and down the minor leagues. Finally last year was fantastic in the month of May with the Yankees AAA affiliate. He was brought up, and he hasn't seen the minor leagues since. He's been unbelievable. And like I said, it's impossible not to like this guy, not to root for this guy. And he's been unbelievable. He doesn't have overpowering stuff, but he's good.
But that you don't really need it. If your placement is good and you can fool these hitters, fantastic. I'm saying, I agree with you. AL Cy Young watch.
Righty or lefty, Nestor Cortez?
Who?
Nestor Cortez?
For which?
Man, you did not.
What does that matter?
Ben, you didn't prepare. That's all. That's all I got to say.
One more.
Didn't prepare.
Mike,
He came a run differential.
No, Mike,
Came a
I
run
want you to-
differential.
Mike,
Ben, no.
I want you to
I
tell
asked
me.
you a question about
I
Nestor
asked you-
Cortez.
I'm going to ask you a question, Mike. Now I'm going to ask you a question. So who were the two pitchers who combined for 8 no-hit innings in the Reds and Pirates game. On
I know
Sunday.
one.
Riley Green started the game.
Hunter Green.
Hunter Green, excuse me.
Wrong.
Hunter Green's right.
One.
Hunter
Put down
Green's right.
Deus, strike one.
Hunter Green's.
Put down strike one.
Hunter Green started the game. That's
no,
right.
you said Riley Green.
Oh,
That's
my
wrong.
God.
That's wrong.
You know what?
That's a strike.
To move off from the lunacy here, because that's what that has been, and that's what it's been since he's gotten here. No offense, I can't wait for you on a morning show.
He did the
He was
morning
the
show
morning show this
today.
morning.
Oh, he did? How was he?
It was good.
It went well.
It went well?
I think that's his spot.
There you go. Good. I'm glad he found his
niche.
place. Well, but one more thing. Let me tell you something about Nestor Cortez. That mustache, he rocks it well.
That's
Fantastic.
immaculate. Hey, that's a hot
You
mustache.
changing the subject.
That's a hot
but
mustache.
436.
Who's
I'm
the
right
other
there.
436. I'm clipping
Who's
it
the
right
other
now.
pitcher?
Yeah.
Don't look it up. Who's the other
436.
pitcher?
Okay, I'm
Who's the
on
other
it.
pitcher?
Ben, nobody cares.
Ben, I want to ask you a question. You know what? One more
No,
pitch
I-
right here.
no, you gotta
one more.
ask me
Can I
that
give one more
question.
pitch?
No.
Hopefully it's right down the middle.
You have to
Ben,
answer my
who is
question.
the number one starter for the New York Yankees?
That's easy. Garrett Cole.
Okay.
No.
That's
Okay.
easy.
That counts. That counts.
That's easy. Yeah, because you guys tried
Then
to
who-
make... No,
okay, who
no,
is the number
no more
two starter?
questions. No,
Who's the number
no more
two?
questions.
Who's the number
Who's
two?
number
No
two?
more questions. No more questions.
Who's the number two starter?
Who is
Name any other star.
Ben, I'm very sorry. I don't know the other pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds that went in a game that they lost as they threw a no-hitter. I am sorry.
You had it on your
Enough.
preparation. You said crazy outcome between two NL Central
Okay.
rivals.
You know what? This will get him. Name the Mets starting rotation, and then we can move on.
Okay.
That's your test.
Okay.
Name the whole Mets starting rotation.
Do we include? I'm not gonna say anything.
In no particular order.
Yeah, it's fine. Go.
In no
Yeah,
particular.
no,
Okay,
he's in it. There's
Yeah.
Walker's out.
Do you,
for me.
do you count? Do you count the? You don't count the DeGrom.
No DeGrom.
No,
No,
the ground.
Walker's in.
Walker's in. Yeah, Walker's
Give him
in.
You get one.
Walker, Carrasco, Scherzer.
Who started opening day?
No, hold on.
No, don't
Hold on.
give him any
McGill,
more.
You're falling off the track.
McGill. You got
and,
one more.
just got injured. Just got put on. Trevor May. Trevor May.
No,
May.
you're falling off the track.
So, hold on one second. So, Tyler McGill, right? So, the
That's
game
right.
was postponed today, so they're playing tomorrow. He's going to pitch the first game of the doubleheader tomorrow, right?
No.
Why not?
No.
Is Trevor Williams pitching tomorrow? Is he?
That's a good
One
question.
second,
Actually,
one second. Why isn't McGill pitching the first game of the doubleheader tomorrow?
Because he's on the disabled list.
there you go.
Okay, he fouled one off. Trevor Williams.
But he didn't. He didn't get the last
Questions
one.
for you, Mike.
Oh, yeah,
No.
Who's the second pitcher? Who's the second pitcher?
stop.
in the
He didn't-
Reds?
he
I
didn't
wanna
know,
know. I have a
arguably.
right to know.
He doesn't know-
You have it on your preparations.
But he doesn't know the Mets' second best pitcher, maybe even best pitcher this year. He didn't know the name
Chris
of that
Bassett.
guy. Chris Bassett, the best pitcher on the Mets this year. He didn't know that. But anyway,
Do we call that? Maybe we'll just call it another foul tip because he got a lot of them.
That's subjective. That's subjective.
Subjective.
It is.
Subjective.
I'll give him the argument. Him or Scherzer. I'll give him
yes,
that.
that's fine. But he didn't know. He didn't know
He
that.
didn't know that, no.
Okay, we're moving on. The New York Mets.
You
Right.
still didn't name the second pitcher.
Ben, if you bring up the second pitcher one more
Shut
time.
up with this. Enough. We're not in Cincinnati. We're not at Great American Ballpark. No.
My friend was just
no.
there. He
Oh
liked it
yeah.
a lot.
Nice
Oh, really?
ballpark.
It's beautiful,
Yeah.
right?
See, he went to PNC. He said that was nicer.
No, it is nicer.
But anyway, all right. We're moving on. No more lunacy.
For now.
That's it.
For now.
Nestor Cortez was absolutely fantastic. I don't think Ben could pick him out of a lineup, but whatever.
He's a pretty unique looking guy.
I don't think he could. I really don't think he could. He was unbelievable again yesterday. So 8 innings. I think that start was more impressive than the no-hit one.
Yeah.
Really.
I think he was that good.
Wow.
Because you felt him. You felt his command. He walked a lot of guys. Against what was that? Tampa.
Texas.
Texas. He was walking a lot of guys.
And this is a White Sox lineup that's no nonsense. They're
Right.
very solid too.
No, I was more impressed with Cortez yesterday than I was the last week. All right, the New York Mets, they lose their first series of the year to a Mariner team, man. They are pesky. They're a pesky little team.
I am worried about the Mets.
Oh, here we go.
Sorry.
It begins.
Why are you worried about the Mets? I am,
Come on, they're in a rut. You can come on.
on a scale from 1 to 10, my worry's probably always at a 3 with the Mets. Unless things get bad, like it averages at a 3. I'm probably at a 4.
I was gonna go 6.
I'm not like too worried about the Mets, but there's some concern. Why are you worried about the Mets?
I'm kind of at 6-2 only because
Please, I don't. we're going to talk about the bullpen. I know we are. They didn't have a great weekend, so take that out of it right now. Take the bullpen out of it right now. Why are you worried about the Mets?
Well, that's the problem.
That's the main reason.
That's the main reason.
Okay.
I thought the Mets should. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The offense is not consistent. It's just very inconsistent offense.
It was up, and then it's been down for a little while, and I kind of feel them poking their way back. But
Yesterday was a good offensive day. Not what it mattered, though. That was the thing.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, but see, like that's the thing, though. And then, to me, the game that bothered me the most in the Mariners series is probably the first game, just because Scherzer pitches unbelievably well, and you only score 1 run in the first, and that's it. That's frustrating.
It was
brutal offense. That's all the offense, and then yesterday, Jason Shreve. Like Joey Rodriguez, like really, we're really going to trust those guys.
Jason Shreve's been good until yesterday.
Well, Shreve has been good, and so is Rodriguez. Correct.
Yeah, but
Shreve was brought into that game because they needed length. They didn't have many guys. They needed length.
And I'm not I'm not blaming the manager, by the way. Okay, because first
There's
of all,
something he could have done yesterday.
But you see, the problem is that's going to be a problem all year. That's the issue.
Not all year. Now, while we both agree they need to add to this bullpen in a month or two, whenever that is, whenever the best trade comes along, and they will do that, I don't think it's going to be the problem all year.
They need 3 guys. That's how.
I'd say
this
2. I'd say 2 guys. I'd say 3 is
righty
really,
lefty.
You want to win a World Series. You need a really good bullpen. That's what I'm saying. Like because think about it like this too. Okay, McGill's on the IL. He's hurt. He had a bad outing. We know why now. He's hurt. IL.
How long is the IL for him?
I don't think it's going to be too long because the test.
It
went back to 15 days.
That's a test.
You can't give out tests if you fail as a student.
The test.
No,
you can't do that.
How long is the IL for McGill?
Ben, please, we're having an actual
15 now.
Ben, we're
15.
having a conversation, a real conversation.
Yes,
please
we
don't
are.
interrupt it.
We are.
That's serious. He's talking very calmly to you. That's seriously angry.
I hope the bullpen they figure this out. But here's the thing, though. You got to think McGill. He's going to have some shaky outings. You're not going to get dominant at every start. Like
you're not.
You're going to have to get a good bullpen to shorten the game. And unfortunately, Carrasco, even though he didn't have it yesterday, your bullpen could have picked up for him. They did not. That's a fact. And the offense. And here's the thing: from the offensive standpoint, the guy I'm really pissed off at, Escobar. He stinks. He can't hit a beach ball.
He has been on some stretch, man. I think going into Friday series, so you could give me the stats from the weekend. I think it was 10 for his last 70, 10 for 70.
Yeah.
And he's just unbelievably bad slump. And, again, he got off to this torrid start. He's getting on base.
But that's like Lindor. Same
and
thing.
Lindor at least has shown a little bit more of, production. And I'm not concerned about Lindor. I think he'll be just fine.
You're not concerned about he's got a 232 batting average.
Hold on,
I don't care about batting average.
How do you not care about batting average?
I care about OPS.
His OPS isn't that good either. It's
I know.
720.
And it's going up.
What really concerns me also, and I know Marte had a few good games. Oh my, he's been bad.
That was,
he. It's awful.
He's up and down. He started off the season really badly. He looks like he's getting into a hot stretch. But there were 2 at bats. Not only the one at the end of the game. There was another one with Nimmo on third base where you could have went up 2 runs instead of the 1 when you came back and made it 5-4. He had a terrible at bat in that, right there. That made me mad. And then obviously the at bat where he strikes out 3 pitches, a terrible.
That's awful.
At bat against it was Diego Castillo was in the game. He just came in for him. Oh my God, it was putrid.
And I'm just and I know just going back to that inning and you hear it after the game. So how you said about you're not in love with what Lindor said after that whole thing about Roger Cano, they cut him and whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with Pete Alonso said after that game. Give him credit.
I'm not happy with him in general. He didn't play. Last at bat to end the game.
He's leading the Mets in home runs. How you not happy?
The last at bat to end the game, I was not happy with.
And also what he said after the game, that was pitiful. What he said.
What he said, I thought I heard what he said. I didn't. He said, he made a pitch, and
Come on, though. Like,
what is he? Ross, what do you want him to say?
Don't swing in the dirt. He threw it in the dirt.
That's what he said. He said he executed. I didn't. That's what he said.
Everybody knew it's a slider. Everybody knows like you're not going to get a great pitch. I mean, Pete probably knew he was going to get a fastball there, but
he didn't.
And that's the thing. And everybody knows his strengths. They know
what would you have liked him to say in that spot?
I have to work on not chasing. That's it. He always chases every time in the dirt.
So does every player. They all chase at bad pitches.
That's not true. That's not
Pete
true.
Alonso's got to go out there and say, I'm going to work on this. Of course he's going to work on that.
McNeil
of course he wants to be a better player.
McNeil doesn't chase.
But don't keep saying like about other hitters like
he didn't say other hitters.
No, not him. But like you're hearing this after the game, like Gonzalez, the guy that pitched against Shirt, like give him credit. He pitched really like really. Come on, hit the guy. Can you hit the guy? And so again, this guy, great, he has great stuff. Hit the guy. Like enough with this whole give him credit, bow down, throw flowers at the guy. No, hit the guy. That's it. That's all I want. Enough with this this baby talk about like give that guy credit for his good stuff. Sure, everybody's got good stuff. Okay, everybody has a signature pitch to go to. Figure out how to hit the guy and adjust to him.
I think you're just looking for things to get mad at Pete Alonso about.
His seriously suck. I'm sorry. They're terrible.
Some people think he's corny. That's fine. I don't mind. I don't mind him.
What happened to Diesel Donnie, by the way? They just demanded.
Donnie Stevenson.
Donnie Stevenson.
Look,
yeah,
dead.
He's a great power hitter. He's an excellent power hitter, but he has to. There are big time holes in that swing. Big time holes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry,
Ross, I think you're over exaggerating.
His slugging is way down this year.
It's at about 500,
right?
It was a little under that yesterday. Yeah,
it started the day at 500. I don't have a problem with him so far this season. He went through a stretch.
He's leading the National League in RBIs. That's to be fair.
He went through a stretch a couple of weeks ago where he wasn't hitting home runs. All he was doing was hitting singles. He was taking good pitches. He's not swinging at everything. I've been impressed with Alonso so far, other than the little stretch where he wasn't hitting home runs. Now he seems like he's kind of back into a groove. Like, okay, I'm hitting doubles. I'm hitting hard balls. I don't mind that 447. I don't mind what he's been doing.
He's a pro.
Look, just please get a bullpen. That's it. That's all I'm asking. Get a bullpen. I don't care if you have to be desperate. Got to do it. You want to win a World Series? You got to get a bullpen.
We already have a great closer.
That's it. That's all you got. What else? Lugo? That's it. Sharif?
I've always liked Lugo. I've always had a soft
spot. But you can't pitch every
you need other guys.
Back-to-back days.
It's a fact. It's just a fact. Like I'm telling you, I've seen good bullpens before. You got to get a good bullpen.
You know what the real problem is too? A guy that we've relied on in this series just completely fell apart.
Drew Smith,
who gives up a 2-run shot, which is an absolute.
Were you at the game yesterday?
Yeah, I was.
You see that landed?
That was.
I was there too. That was crazy.
Unbelievable shot to wasn't Cal Rayleigh or whatever.
Yeah, I have no idea what his name is.
Never heard of the guy. Drew Smith.
Catcher batting like 065 hits one over Shea Bridge yesterday.
That doesn't bother you?
No, it did, Ross. But guys aren't going to be perfect every time. He had a bad day. Every bullpen is not like the Yankees. If you watch every team's bullpen's going to blow a couple of games.
I'd rather have the Brewers bullpen. The Brewers bullpen.
I'm not saying the Mets have the best bullpen in the league. I'm just saying bullpen is perfect.
You got to look. We've seen. Look, you're a diehard Mets fan. You've seen crappy bullpens for years.
Yeah,
you have to.
That's not true.
That's very true.
No, it's not true.
Ben, please, we're not arguing that. Please let the man speak.
2015.
Okay, that was 7 years ago.
It was 1 year.
2016.
Yeah,
Ross, go on.
The last time the Mets had a great setup guy and a great seventh inning guy was Addison Reed. After that, what else have they got?
Wow.
Nothing. They've had nothing.
No, they haven't.
And that's what I'm telling you this. If the bullpen costs them a playoff spot, I want Epler gone. I don't care after 1 year. I want.
Guess who supported Epler? Guess who supported Epler?
And I don't think that's going to be a problem. You really don't think this team's not going to add? Right now, Ross, what the Mets needs, bullpen and maybe another bat to play to DH. Do you really think this owner, this general manager, is not going to get it done?
You're
crazy. You're crazy.
Billy Epler wasn't there last year.
Look who their general manager was last year.
They were in no right mind, especially with the news they got that day, to go hard at somebody. They made a terrible mistake. at
449.
They made a terrible mistake going after Baez. They should have, and I know we all would have killed them, but they should have stood pat right there when they found out about DeGrom.
I mean,
I know you don't want to just lay down and get ran over by the coming train, but they should have. They shouldn't have traded a good prospect.
They should not have. I'm just, again, they have not won.
They were in a different spot last year, Ross. If this team coming into July is in first place and playing well, obviously they're going to add whatever they have to do. But last season we saw them. We saw the train coming to an end. We saw it coming down the hill.
I get it, but look at the guys that they added in the bullpen. Adam Ottavino, really? We're going to trust Adam Ottavino, the guy that got cut by 3 teams? I
don't hate him, but okay, fine.
The point I'm trying to make here is that you're asking guys to do something that they're not normally supposed to do. Jason Shreve is not a guy that should be pitching high leverage, consistent.
Do you think the 5th inning or 6th inning yesterday was high leverage?
If he's screwing up against an 0.69 hitter, I have a problem with that.
It wasn't Shreve, it was Smith, but okay,
whatever.
I get your point.
But the point I'm trying, he also gave a 3-run homer to Jesse Winker. So let's be honest, the guy's not exactly great. We saw him with the New York Yankees. He's not that great.
No, he's not that great.
So you're asking guys like that to rely on.
He's not as bad as you're saying. Russ, nobody is disagreeing that they need to add in the bullpen. But no bullpen is perfect, and the Mets had a bad weekend. They're going to have bad weekends. One of the better closers we consider in baseball, Liam Hendricks, has blown saves this season. The White Sox, who we thought had this great bullpen, has blown saves this season. Teams blow games. Unless your name is Josh Hader, you're not blowing any saves.
Okay, but let's be honest, and I'm not even mad. I'm not as mad at the players because, again, Billy Epler believed in these guys. He thought that this bullpen was good. So the fact that he thought that this bullpen is actually going to be capable of getting big-time hitters out in big-time situations is malpractice. It's just not going to happen.
Well, they have, Ross. They have.
When?
For 23 games, shouldn't say every game, but for most of these games, they have. Now, there have been some where they haven't, but they have gotten big outs. They have gotten in big spots. They've gone on runs. This bullpen has gone on runs where they've pitched well. It's not just the bad. We can't just look at the bad. We can't come in here after one weekend and say they were terrible again this weekend when we don't acknowledge when they were great. So we can't do that. We have to be consistent with our analysis of this bullpen, of this team.
Hopefully the offense gets more consistent, but let's be honest, you want to support the starting pitching. I've seen the Mets for so many years waste good outings. The Mets did that with Max Scherzer. They've done that the last few times when he's pitched. You need to win those games that Scherzer pitches.
This is the first time they didn't win a start.
2 times in a row. Phillies.
He didn't pitch that well in that game. He
kept you in it, though.
He gave you a chance to win, but he wasn't great. I understand they probably should have won the game fine, but I wouldn't consider that a good start where they're like, they have to win that game. The one against St. Louis where he pitched very well, 7 scoreless, 10 strikeouts, and then they came back to score 5 runs in the 9th, they almost lost that game, and that would have been a game where you said, oh, that's a terrible, terrible loss with the way he pitched. I felt that way Friday night. I didn't feel that way last Sunday. I didn't.
Let me ask the final question. Do you feel more confident about this bullpen or the last 5 years bullpen?
Last 5 years, easily.
This bullpen.
This bullpen.
No.
This bullpen because you actually have a closer.
No. That's crazy, Mike.
Okay.
That's crazy. Jerry's Familia was
that was 7 years ago.
7 years.
What's your question?
Like the
15's bullpen or this bullpen?
He has no response.
Oh, 15's bullpen, sure. Okay. I thought you were talking about from 17 to last year.
Yeah, that's part of it too. Do you feel more confident from? Okay, I'll say this question: do you feel more confident between 2016 to 2021 or this year? Do you feel more? Which one do you feel more confident in?
Just bullpen.
Yes.
This year.
Because they had bad bullpens. 17, 18, 19, 20. They were bad. 21, bad.
Remember Sean Gilmartin? I'm just naming random bullpen guys now.
It's
some interesting names in that bullpen.
Trevor May's out. That's, again,
that helps.
Addition by subtraction. Sean Reed Foley, addition by subtraction.
That helps.
Again, all the guys that were mentioned, that let's say the next guy gets hurt, unless it's Edwin Diaz, that would be terrible. But the other guys that get hurt, it just feels like addition by subtraction to me. It doesn't I'm not banging my head against the wall, losing sleep over losing a guy like Adam Ottavino. You could live without him. That's my point.
One of the Mets division rivals had a great weekend. What did they do this weekend? The Phillies. What did the Phillies do this weekend?
Ooh.
I wrote this down in preparation for today. The Phillies They beat the leading NL West Dodgers in not yesterday, but they beat them once or twice in this series. And I think they won the series.
They did win the series.
They won the series.
3 out of 4.
Three times.
They won the series.
Mike, I texted you that DraftKings.
I know.
That was bad.
Yeah.
That was bad.
I think. Did you take it?
That was a bad beat.
Did you
that
take
was,
it?
I did. That was a bad.
team's-
But that was that should have been over.
They're off.
That was a bad
Their
beat.
offense, the Phillies are scary. It's really
If they get that offense going and they get it mixed with good pitching and something in the bullpen, then it is scary. But
Is your deadline of what day was that?
June
10th. June 10th. Is that still on track?
June 9th.
June 9th,
yeah. Definitely didn't have a good week for my prediction.
Mike, I have a
definitely
question
feel
for
terrible
you.
about it.
Mike, I have a question for you. Just the NBA. Who was the first player ever to blow 5-2-0 leads in a best-of-7 series?
I know.
Paul.
Yep.
All right,
Yes,
let's talk
that's right.
NBA for the last 2 minutes very quickly. I know I'm right, Ben. There's very few times I'm not. Okay.
That's ironic.
Quickly with the NBA, we only have 2 minutes left, and we got into such
It's
riveting.
funny how we never did NBA
We got
that
2
much
minutes,
today.
Ben. We got 2 minutes.
We had riveting NBA.
We spent a lot of time
MLB.
arguing things we shouldn't have argued. That's why. But go on.
So anyway, we've got the Celtics yesterday
minutes on hockey.
beating what I thought was the most entertaining series of the season, and that was the Celtics and the Bucks. The Celtics do win in Game 7 yesterday, though. Jason Tatum obviously becoming a superstar. The Celtics were terrible in the first quarter of that game and somehow find a way to win that, blow them out by, what was it?
Almost 30, 29,
Almost 30?
28, I think, around.
Oh,
29.
my God.
Yeah, that I feel like both Game 7s were kind of boring. I mean, 2 blowouts, nothing close. I mean,
I expected a closer game with the Bucks and Celtics. It was closer than the score tells you, but at the end, the Celtics ran away with it.
yeah, and also this, Dallas, and also Dallas blowing out Phoenix. This is not Brunson's final game with the Mavericks before he becomes a Knick. So,
wait, say that again?
Brunson. That was not his last game as a Maverick because
You think he's going to be a Knick?
I think there's a very realistic chance that happens.
I agree with you.
No, I don't think so.
Very quickly, also, Ross just brought it up. The Suns, and Ben brought it up too. Chris Paul and the Suns. I mean, just an absolutely embarrassing performance.
0-15 against Scott Foster.
0-15.
Wow.
Yeah, your favorite ref, Deus.
Okay, moving.
Brutal.
Brutal. But
And they were losing by 42 to start the fourth quarter. Unbelievably bad.
Lucas
from a
scored
1 seed.
27 in the first.
So did the Suns.
So did the Suns.
And let me just read this very quickly. Luka in the series had more points than Booker, more rebounds than Ayton, more assists than Chris Paul, and more steals than Mikal Bridges.
I got 3 quick things, just really quick.
Yes.
You could give me for just a minute. So one,
I got to put the promos in so that would work.
So Pete DeBoer, the Knights head coach, who the Golden Knights fired Gerard Gallant, so they could get Pete DeBoer. Just got canned. So one man's treasure is another Rangers treasure. She's gonna call out Justin Greenberg, fake Ranger fan, posting a picture on his Instagram with Mike Richter, like he knows who that is.
That was funny.
And finally, a question for Ben. Ben, what do you do on a drop third strike in baseball?
No, in football.
What do you do?
A drop third strike.
Well, that's it.
What's
That's
the rule?
That's strike 3. You're out.
Well, no,
But I'm-
no, it's wrong. No, that was a joke. That was a joke.
No, it wasn't. You're
drop,
out.
No, a drop third strike. A drop third strike. How many? What's the count? What's the count?
What is the count?
Okay,
You just struck out.
Well, we got 458.
The final thing that I'm so glad the Sixers
You're
are
out.
Get rid of Doc Rivers.
Punch him
Bye,
out.
76.
Punch him out.
Any pain for the city of Philadelphia is great. Okay, that's all the time we got for today. Thank you for listening.
Hold on. I thought you said
No, we gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. Ben, time's up.
Gotta go.
No,
Thank
Time's up,
you
Ben.
for listening to WHPC Sports Talk 4. Anthony Deus, Ross Levine, Matt Leonard, and Ben Oppenheimer. I'm Michael Merlo here on the voice of Nassau Community College 90.3 WHPC. Have a great weekend. Have a great rest of the day, everybody.